Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the sexy ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. This is the New World Podcast, brother, and we're going to talk about the May 19th, 2023 SmackDown edition this week. Why did I say it like that? I don't know why, but we're in South Carolina. Wade Barrett, Michael Cole on commentary. I got a boot ass early to watch this show. I watched a little bit last night before I went to bed. We're traveling. We traveled down to Phoenix. You know, not too far from Flagstaff, but we traveled down here. Gotta say, not too hot though. Like a little more humid than hot. You know, it's monsoon season, and we came through a doozy of a storm, man. Right before, like, right when you hit Camp Verde, all the way up before one of the exits for Prescott. Man, it was bad. Like, people were sliding off the road. There was somebody stuck in the mud. Like, it was crazy. Headlights were on. I mean, it was just like, and hail and, so, but we made it down okay. Hopefully on the way back up to Flagstaff, it's going to be fine. But, enough about me. Let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown, man. Well, first and foremost, R.I.P. Superstar Billy Graham. He was on life support, and this dude definitely, like, a big influence on the professional wrestling industry itself. Somebody who a lot of people stole from, especially back in those days, man, before Twitter, before the internet, before anything, and TV being as big and small as it was, man. Like, the dude was a legend upon itself. And you ever seen the documentary 20 Years Too Late, or was it 20 Years Too Early? It's the story of Superstar Billy Graham. Tangled Ropes was such a great book, and talking about how his upcoming in the business, being different, being. And there's some great stories out there. I listen to the current Busted Open Radio on, I listen on Spotify about stories about Billy Graham, and it made me so happy because these are old school guys that I looked up to. Of course, Dusty Rhodes is always my favorite. Of course, Ric Flair, but we wouldn't have these sort of things if we didn't have Superstar Billy Graham. Hulk Hogan, took some stuff from Billy Graham and stuff like that, and him losing to Bob Backlund and hearing the stories about how that really messed him up mentally and everything like that, and these are stories, yes, but, it's one of those things where and it's crazy, he lived down here in Phoenix, Arizona, along with, I think, Warrior lived down here, right, if I remember right, but, going from being the number one thing and being different and being, over the top, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, he will be missed, and he contributed a lot. And I know he had a lot of rough patches with WWE, got into the Hall of Fame, then a lot of bad stuff, talking smack and this and that. It said some stuff on social media, especially his page, but besides all that, looking at the legacy this man will leave and how he impacted the professional wrestling business. And if I'm quoting Triple H from his Hall of Fame speech, he said, the real first sports entertainer, bigger than life, R.I.P., Superstar Billy Graham. Much love to your family, your wife, everybody. Mwah. And, much love and praise. Roman Reigns with Solo and Heyman come out, and of course, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got a big match at Night of Champions. Roman comes out with Solo and everything. He's talking, and then they interrupt, and I love the interaction with Roman. He's like, man, I gave you everything, Sammy, And my favorite part, though, is when Kevin dropped his stuff, and Kevin's just like, and then Roman's like, oh, yeah, you want to fight, huh? Fight Owens, fight. But I'm not, I'll talk to you. And he goes into this really great, like, layered promo to Sammy and about, and Sammy gets back at him and stuff like that. And he's like, he goes, I wish I hit you with that chair sooner. And talked about the Usos and stuff like that. Like, you can't beat us and you can't beat the Usos. Laying more groundwork there. Then, right before Roman could say what he really wanted to say, the Usos attacked Kevin Owens and Sami. Thought they were doing Roman a favor. Roman looks pissed. Roman's like, what the fuck? And then he basically is like, what are you doing in my ring? Did I tell you to come in my ring? This wasn't the plan. This is my ring. He's pissed off. And the best part about this, he turns around and kind of not really shoulder checks, but bumps into Solo. And if looks can tell a story of like an image, the imagery of this was fantastic. Roman, bam, hits the shoulder. Roman looks at Solo. Solo looks at Roman. And Roman, is like kind of flustered and just like upset. And he jumps out of the ring. He walks. But Solo looks down on his shoulder. And it was like, oh. And he looks and he kind of looks back. And I was just like, here's great storytelling in the sport, man. And the Usos are like, what do we do? And we go backstage. Roman's there. He's sitting there. I love backstage segments like this. Like, especially when you go and see some superstars. Even they did this with the LWO, where they're all sitting at a certain angle. They have to because of the cameras and whatnot to film them, because it's like movies and stuff like that. But I just love the way they're sitting, and Roman's sitting there, and he's just like, what was that? That was not part of the plan. I had something to say to Sami. I had something to get off my chest, and you guys ruined that. Get the hell out of here. Get out of his locker room. Kicking the Usos out. And the best part about this was after they left, Solo staring down at Roman with Paul there. Paul playing Paul the Puppet Master, but him just looking at Roman. And I was like, damn. You can feel it. You can feel the intensity, brother. You can feel it. Big debut. Pretty Deadly versus the Brawling Brutes with Sheamus. Great debut for this team. Also, too, when you're watching them on NXT and they're coming out with that stage and whatnot at the Performance Center, you get the idea of what these superstars are. You get the idea of, like, their characters and stuff. I will say, with Pretty Deadly, on a scope of being huge and massive, being superstars, I got that from their entrance. Like, that level of them coming out, and, with the graphics and everything like that, like, I like seeing them, like, oh, it's kind of coming full circle in this moment for me, watching them coming up in NXT. Now here, they are superstars. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like Bronson Reed. That amazing shot from behind him onto the crowd, like, how massive this dude is. And how, like, this dude is a superstar. Like Pretty Deadly, they came out, beat the Brawling Brutes in a great way, Pretty Deadly fashion. But what a victory to get over on SmackDown. So but like I said, like, just watch, I don't know, go watch your NXT entrance from them. Then watch this entrance, and you can feel the magic of this team. So next up, they remembered superstar Billy Graham. And next is this, Asuka versus Zelina Vega. And I will say this, Zelina Vega has a little bit of fire under her. A whole new attitude of Zelina Vega. And I saw it tonight. Like, she has she's bringing it more in the ring than she has before. After a big match like that with Rhea Ripley at Backlash. But Asuka for the win. Bianca comes out, almost gets missed. And I'm like, man, we are doing so much better building this feud than we did for WrestleMania. I cannot wait for this match at Night of Champions. So, the Grayson Waller effect, the first edition of SmackDown with AJ Styles. And Grayson Waller, I really like the dynamic of this show because there's really no beatdown. He will insult your guests. He will do this. Social media stuff all over the place. But my favorite part is, like, he's like praising AJ. He's like, yo, you've done this, you've done that, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of it, I like the little cherry on top when he says, and, when at Night of Champions, when the announcer says, and new world champion, Seth freaking Rollins. And I was like, damn, and AJ got in his face. That's a great way to end it. No fights, no nothing. I really like that. I don't know why, but I really, really did like that. LWO backstage hyping each other up. This here was the scratch of the brow, the scruff on my chin moment here of the show. LA Knight and Rick Boogs team up to take on the Street Profits. Usually before they cut to a commercial break, they'll say, the Street Profits versus LA Knight and Rick Boogs. But they just said the Street Profits in action. I'm like, okay, what does this mean for LA Knight? He deserves better. Why is he teaming up with Rick Boogs? I'm glad that, after they lost to the Street Profits, he didn't get pinned, Rick Boogs got pinned, and he laid his ass out. Rick Boogs' ass is out. I'm like, why is LA Knight in a tag team match? That doesn't make no sense. Like, this is a Triple H guy, right? But ever since he's been on the main roster, like, he's gotten the stuff with Bray Wyatt, he's gotten this. Clearly, he's getting chance. He's got that crowd to say, LA Knight. What the fuck are we doing with him? Like, seriously, like, I was really pissed off about this, sitting in my chair, my fat ass and everything like that. I'm like, well, especially, I don't know why, but as soon as it said the Street Profits in action, even though I knew the match coming up, I was like, no. This isn't a squash type of thing. This isn't like what Fire and Dawn got tonight. No, this is LA Knight with Rick Boogs. Like, I love Rick Boogs. Don't get me wrong. Rick Boogs, I love but such a weird, I know this is all, I don't know. It pissed me off, though. I was like, LA Knight deserves better. LA Knight deserves better. All right, now I'm done. Megan backstage with Cameron Grimes having the fastest win on WWE, beating Corbin. No Corbin, though, tonight. But he says he's going to the moon. The Usos backstage looking like they need this win. Looking like they need this win. Spoiler, I feel this was, I don't know why, but it did set up a match for next week between these two. Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Brings out the tarot card, has AJ Styles, and I was like, I don't know if this is premature or is this just setting up a match. Like, the last time he did this was like, my next victim is going to be Shinsuke, but not really, and Shinsuke is going to go off to Raw, and our story's over, and I lost to him. And, like, when he brought up AJ's thing, I was like, so are we building a feud or are we just building a match? Because the last time we did this, you tried to build something with Karrion Kross and Shinsuke Nakamura, which didn't pan out to anything. So I'm hoping this is just a setup for the match they're going to have next week. Cody and Brock package. I love that line. You are in my way. And, you're the next big thing. Next. But you know what? What's going to happen when they say next? And that's going to, not a champions, baby. And I get to watch it before work, which is awesome. Alba Fire, Nyla Dawn making their big WWE Friday Night SmackDown debut with those NXT championships. Still doesn't make no sense to me. Versus the Squash Gang. They didn't even introduce them. Or did they? But, of course, Fire and Dawn for the win. Also announced next week, because Liv Morgan got hurt, we're going to have, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a Women's Tag Team Championship match. Fatal 4-Way. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green, Sonya Deville versus Damage Control versus Raquel. And a mystery partner, ? Who's it going to be? Who? So we shall see. I bet you $1 Natalya comes out. Natalya is going to be a partner. But we're going to get that partner next Friday before that big tag team match. So we shall see who her partner is. I'm calling Natalya. Or Shotzi. Natalya or Shotzi. It has to be one of the two. Just saying. Raquel's backstage. Kayla's backstage with Raquel. Says sorry about Liv, but Liv is still a champion in her eyes. Blah, 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 blah. But here comes Bayley, and they said Dakota's hurt, from what I understand. But they're talking about, next week, it's going to be Io Sky and Bayley. They're going to get the tag team championships in a couple weeks. Raquel on her face like, stupid Bayley. But Austin Theory promo, and I got to say, a breath a breath. I hear a plane. I hear a plane, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's a plane. Man, there's a lot of planes in this town, I'll tell you. But I gotta say, a breath of fresh air. No Bobby Lashley. No Bronson Reed. No, who else was he feuding with? I just feel like he was just feuding with Bobby Lashley. But Sheamus, you know, I know they kind of teased it, but with the Sheamus coming out, bro kick, mic drop, but they're getting a championship next week. I was like, oh, we could have built this. The Night of Champions are built this to, what's next? Money in the Bank, right? After Night of Champions? No, it's not Night of Champions. Is it Money in the Bank right after Night of Champions? So, yeah, I think it is. In London. You know, and I love the fact that we're going overseas and going to all these places for these big pay-per-views. But Sheamus, it was a breath of fresh air for me. I was like, okay, Austin Theory versus Sheamus for the United States Championship. Let's go. And let's build from there. Let's have, like, Austin Theory do something shady to win, to beat Sheamus. Keep the story going because this is something I feel like Theory needs to start building a reputation, you know, and we shall see. I just was happy that it wasn't Bobby Lashley that came out. It wasn't anything just because I was like, God, tired of this. I want something different for Austin Theory. Austin Theory deserves a little more credibility inside that ring, and he did cut a good promo. I will tell him that. I did like what Sheamus did. Doesn't need to talk. Bro kick, mic drop, out. But next week, those two. Usos backstage, Heyman, and like, yo, he's like, Heyman playing Puppet Master. He's like, hey, the Tribal Chief forgives you. He forgives you. But we ain't going out there because it's the LWO. What are you guys going to do? Blah. You know, you can beat him. You can beat him. So he sends him out there. LWO versus the Usos. Our main event for tonight. What a spectacular main event. But I got to say, there were some moments. I don't know if it was me or if there was some piped in, this is awesome. There was, this is awesome chants. But there was also felt like some piped in awesome chants. I don't know if that was just me or if I'm crazy. Drop those comments below because I was listening to that crowd. I was like, all right. I was looking at that crowd too. I was like, are they chanting this is awesome or just a piped in this is awesome? Because the match was awesome. The match was really, really good. I love the fact that Sammy and KO came out to help just to fuck with Roman Reigns some more. And the Usos and the Bloodline, making them lose to the Latino World Order. Escobar and Rey Mysterio. Huge win. Roman backstage. Watches on. Solo was about to get up. I was like, whoa, what's he going to do? And Roman's like, nah, man. Just wait, man. Just wait. Just wait. And I got to say, what's with Roman Reigns' new shirt? You know, is that a goat? I'm guessing that's a goat, right? I do like what it says. You know, life's not fair, and still, you're Universal Champion. That's it. That's all. 4 out of 5 for the show. I had a good time, and plus I'm tired as balls. It's hot. It's hot here at night. It's hot here during the day. It's humid more or less. So I was on and off on sleep, but I'm glad I got to get up and powder my nose and everything like that and watch some Friday Night SmackDown. So, what did I say? 4 out of 5. There we go. All right. Tell me what you thought of the show. What did you like? What did you dislike? Drop those comments below. Let's talk. Let's talk. We are professional wrestling fans here, folks, and this is what we do. And thank you for listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself some merch. Logo created by Penta X. Go check out his music. More designs coming from Katie. We're not stopping here. Ladies and gentlemen, no way, no how. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, at SexyNinja.com, at KMB the Sexy Ninja. Man, fucking up my own shit. We're on Facebook. We're on everything. We're on everything and anything. Even your mama. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's disrespectful. No, we're not going to do that. All right? And I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And remember, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
I didn't tell you to come out here. It was a simple plan, my plan, that you don't ever